Chapter 9. Cleaning the Ganges. The Ganges is the largest river of India. The 2,525-kilometer-long river starts in the western Himalayas from Gomukh in the Gangotri Glacier in the state of Uttarakhand. It leaves the state at Rishikesh and hits the plains at Haridwar. Then it flows through North India and ends at the Bay of Bengal in eastern India. The Ganges Delta is the largest in the world. Situated along the banks of this river are many former provincial and imperial capitals like Kannauj, Kashi, Allahabad, Patna, Murshidabad and Kolkata. Around 37% of India's 1.2 billion people live in towns and villages along the Ganges. They depend on it for drinking water, irrigation, and livelihood. Many are the legends about how the Ganges or Ganga was born. One of them says that Ganga was the daughter of King Himavat and Queen Meena. She lived far away in the icy caves of the Himalayas. One day, Ganga's father returned from a visit to the land of Bharat. He was very sad because there was a severe drought in that country. Men, women, and children were dying. Trees, plants, and crops were wilting. When little Ganga heard about it, she asked, "How can we help the people of Bharat?" Her father answered slowly,
"My precious child, you alone can help the people of this burning plain in the north of Bharat. For if a maiden pure and white as snow goes to live there, the land and its people can be saved."
Ganga agreed to go. She would help to renew life. The people, plants, and animals of the northern plain would live again. As soon as Ganga left her icy kingdom, she became a stream of water. She tumbled over rocks and dropped from great heights. By the time she reached the plains, she had turned into a mighty river. As she flowed over the plains, she parched earth drank her cool water. Plants awakened at the touch of her life-giving water. Crops grew again. The land prospered once more. Ganga had saved everyone, so the people began to worship her. They began to call her Mother Ganga. The Ganges is worshipped by the Hindus. A dip in this river is believed to cleanse one of all sins. It best displays its spiritual side at dawn, when the sun is yet to rise. Flowing lazily through the plains, it paints a picture of perfect calm. Boats filled with pilgrims glide gently over its waters. At dusk, too, the sight of little earthen lamps floating on the water is magical. However, with sunrise the veil lifts and the charm is gone, laying bare the stinking sewer the Ganges has become. Sewage, industrial waste, human corpses, and animal carcasses have turned the sacred, life-giving Ganges into a dying cesspool. The river whose water is supposed to cleanse one of all sins is not just dirty but toxic today. It is unsafe for drinking and bathing. Added to this, the fast shrinking glaciers, a result of global warming, also pose a threat to the life of the river. Attempts to clean the Ganges have been made from time to time. The government launched the Ganga Action Plan to clean the river in 1986. Sewage treatment plants were created and electric crematoriums built in some of the cities along the river to reduce the growing amount of water discharged into the river. However, the Ganga Action Plan made little difference. The National Ganga River Basin Authority was created in 2009. It was seen as an improvement over the Ganga Action Plan, focusing on the Ganges basin rather than a few cities on its banks. Yet, the problems of the Ganges persist. For example, at Garmukteshwar, pilgrims take a dip in the muddy waters of the Ganges while polybags, floral offerings, garbage, and dead animals float around. At Kanpur, the amount of filth along the bank of the river continues unabated. The river is treated like a dumping ground by the people. In Varanasi, the Ganges water is so polluted that it is dangerous to take a dip. The bathing ghats are sandwiched between two tributaries, Asi and Varuna, which are now huge sewage drains. As the Ganges wends its way down to Kolkata, it experiences dozens of similar situations that leave her waters fetid and filled with toxins and diseases. Environmentalists point out that while addressing the pollution of the Ganges, focusing on pollutants alone is not the only approach. The decrease in water flow in the Ganges has reduced its capacity to purify its pollutants. Hence, attention must be paid to increase the water flow in the Ganges. This can be done by the removal of silt from the river and by halting construction activity along its bank. According to Sunita Narayan, who is the Director General of the Center for Science and Environment, the ideal solution would be to deal with three problem areas: increasing the water flow to dilute waste, finding new ways to check the growing amount of sewage discharged into the river, stopping industries from discharging waste into the river. Experts, however, feel that participation of the people is essential for any permanent solution to the problem. The Ganges cannot be kept clean unless the people living in the basin want it to be clean and unless they stop polluting it in the first place. In recent months, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has called for a mass movement to clean the Ganges. He has said that volunteer teams from across the country would be involved in creating awareness among people. This, together with new Ganga development project named Namami Ganga that promises a clean Ganga in 3 years, brings a ray of hope for the future of the